Welcome to Skater Stories, where we are asking members of our skate community to share their story of why they started roller skating to inspire others. I'm Mel, owner of Roller Girl Gang and passionate roller skater. Today's skater story is shared by Michelle. I'll hand you over to Michelle to share her journey in roller skating. Thank you, Michelle.
So I am now joined by Michelle, and I am very excited to learn more about your skate story and what skating, like why you do it. So I'm going to hand straight over.
Okay,
Michelle, tell us more.
Yeah, thank you. So I used to go skating in the 6-week holidays when I was younger in Newport in South Wales with my nana. I don't think she went skating. I think I went around, and I just remember loving it and really enjoying the music. And like, I don't remember falling over or any of the techniques or anything like that, but I remember I did really enjoy it. And then the last few years, I suppose, coming out of lockdown and stuff, I was like, I kind of, I've put on weight, I'm 49 now, I need to kind of be doing exercise, but I hate going to the gym. What can I do? And I thought, oh, actually, I used to really love skating, maybe I could get back into that again. Put it off for ages, and then did some searching, came across the Roller Girl Gang, and was like, oh, actually that looks really good. Built up the courage to come into the store and was like, oh, and it was just lovely. Met by another older woman with grey hair, and I was like, oh, great, and she hadn't been skating that long, but was working in the shop, and I think is a skate marshal as well, and I just felt really welcomed, and I felt like, oh, okay, I can be myself, and that was really important. I didn't want to feel like I was surrounded by really young things that knew what they were doing and were all white, and I was like, and boys, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So I remember trying on a pair of skates and just being like, oh my god, like, what am I doing? I can't do this. Like, I just had no idea how to do anything again, and I was like, okay, maybe it's not for me. And then I think I saw the list of the classes that you do in the social events. And eventually went along to one of the Friday evening ones, hired some skates. And I was just so surprised by the diversity in that hall of, such a mix of people from all genders and ethnicities and sexualities. And I was like, oh God, this is incredible. What an amazing space. My wife came with me, and because she'd not long had surgery at that point, so she definitely wasn't going to be skating, but needed to just sit, and I checked that was okay, and again, that was lovely. There was no kind of, it's fine, it's really welcoming, she can sit there. And we ended up sitting next to this pair of friends, and I explained that I hadn't done this for a very long time, and the person there was lovely, and they kind of managed to get me on my feet because I was like really terrified, and then they kind of supported me and pulled me around the hall, like a whole circuit, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I sat down. I thought, okay, I'm going to try again, and I got up, and I managed to get up on my own, I think, and then I managed to kind of go a little bit more on my own. I was like, oh, this is weird, something's coming back to me. So this muscle memory from like, I don't know, 40 years ago was there. And then eventually I was going around on my own, still very much like Bambi, but I was doing it, and I was like, oh God, this is incredible. And really enjoyed it. Didn't fall over at that point. I was very proud of myself. And I thought, yeah, I love this. I really love it. Like, it's just such a welcoming space. And that was really important. It's really important to know that there is a space for us, for me, for people, who aren't this, kind of young, fancy young things that, what they're doing. And there were lots of people that clearly had never skated before. And there was this one guy who, what's his name? can't remember his name now, that's going to annoy me, who's, you know, very, really tall, mixed race guy who was just flying around, and he was incredible, and he is incredible. And apparently, you know, I plucked up the courage, I think, the next time I went to, you know, to say hello and speak to him, and he was lovely. So and it turns out he started skating because of his daughter, and now he only wears skates everywhere, and that's how he's so good. I mean, it blew my mind. Yes, and he'd only been skating for 6 months at that point, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, no. I mean, and you know who I'm talking about. He's amazing.
Yeah, and we saw it in the pandemic when people didn't have, they had more time.
Yeah.
Because they weren't having to travel to work and things like that, that people's skill level went from like very nervous to suddenly very confident and competent and skilled because of the amount of practice time they had. And it was kind of, I spent a decade learning what you've managed to learn in about a year and a half, like what is going on here. But absolutely, if people have the time to practice and they kind of felt that they found their space and found their home, they were just doing it and doing it. So that's and it's fantastic.
It is amazing. And because I have various health conditions, it means that I don't always have the energy to be able to kind of to go or to cope with a space when it's really noisy and loud and things and bright. So I'm not going as much as I want to, but when I do go, I really, really enjoy it. And the classes that run on a Sunday, I'd love to go to, but I work on a Sunday. So I managed to find a class at the LS10 skate park, which I went to. I would probably say don't necessarily go there if you're new. Like it's amazing, but it is a skate park for skateboarders. And for skaters like roller skaters, yes, if you know what you're doing. But again, really amazing space, and I was a little bit concerned because skateboarders generally, I just have this image of not me. But I remember going for a class thinking it was a roller skate class, and it wasn't, and I ended up I was very forcibly persuaded by my wife to kind of do the skateboard session just to learn, and actually I managed to to get on and to do a couple of things. But then I got my skates on and I went, there's a tiny little kind of hill, and I ended up falling really badly because I was not prepared for the slope. And
incline is totally different.
So I fell quite badly then and hurt my shoulder and my bottom, and that, and obviously things hurt more when you get older, like they really do. And I know that I need to not be scared of falling, but that did kind of make me a little bit scared. But at the same time I was like, oh, I'm going to keep going. And then they had is it Marta is there, I think they had a beginner's session that I managed to get on, so now at least I know how to fall safely, so at least that's okay. And I got all my protective gear, and I got this really good deal on a pair of secondhand skates for like £25 or something, and then you very kindly let me have the light up wheels, which I love, from the skate library, which again is a great thing, so you can try out wheels and see which ones you like, and so I'm happy enough with my skates, but they take ages to put on. I don't think that gets any quicker or any easier.
So no, it doesn't.
No, I'd definitely say like it's a bit of a okay. It takes a good 10 minutes to get yourself in before you could actually get up and get going. So that's something I'd definitely say is be prepared for that. It's not a quick thing. But yeah, I love it. It's really, I really enjoy it. And even though I'm not doing it as much as I'd like to, I know that when I do it, like I feel it, and I can feel myself getting a bit stronger, and my memory coming back, and I can do small lemons. And in this kind of the first workshop, because they were doing much bigger lemons, and I'm like, oh, this is this is a lot difficult, more harder than I realized. And my poor legs and thighs were like, what are you doing? So it is very much an all body workout. You don't realize it's going to be, but it is. So yeah, and it's fun, and that's something I definitely say to people to do.
Have more fun.
yeah, have more fun. It's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't have to be serious. Let's do 20 reps of X at the gym, and I just, like, I can't bear it. And I know that I won't go back to the gym. Like, we keep joining, and then every year I don't continue. Whereas I know that I need to do something that I want to do and enjoy. I think, yeah, thinking back, it was to do with the This Girl Can campaign. I think that's how I ended up finding you, and then going from there. And then, yes, kind of come along to your birthday party with the shop and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
in the corn exchange.
Yeah, making pom-poms. And so, yeah, it's just a lovely space. And yeah, definitely, it's so important to have that, to know that there is a space for us. So
yes, and that everybody is welcome. And thank you, Michelle. It sounds like you've just done an advert for roller skating in Leeds, but that is fine. We will still share that, because it's so important, like, to have the community that we have in Leeds, like, across the city.
yeah,
is just so brilliant for everybody, because it means they can find exactly what suits them. And, like, I wish we could provide more classes, but right now we're just not in a position to do that. And I know it will stretch our instructor team a bit too thinly, and they've all got day jobs, so it's not fair to go and let's do some Tuesday night classes and let's do some Wednesday night classes and just take up everybody's time. But one day there will be a venue in Leeds, and then hopefully it will just provide a home for everybody. And then there'll be, it will look a bit different again. But right now, we're in a really exciting phase, I think, where there's still lots of kind of little groups all kind of building and more and more. So it's just, you've come at a great time.
No, it is. And there's the Potter Newton skates, which I haven't been to, but and then because you've been doing this blog, which again is really helpful, it's kind of being open about mental health struggles and just life struggles, and what it's like when you hit 40 and then all of a sudden things change. And that again for me was something that was really important, that because you're not just a shop, you're actually a community kind of project, and that is great. You're amazing. And then I remember kind of reading something on your social media about Barcelona. And so I think we're going to go.
Exciting.
Which is really exciting, even if I can't do very much and can just skate on the very wide pavements, which will be amazing, and be in the sunshine. Because some of the things people do on skates is just, I'm like, can't see myself doing that, but
that's okay. You maybe didn't realize that you were going to get back on skates, and then you've kind of surpassed what you thought you were going to do anyway.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be a goal for next week or next month. It can just be as long as you're enjoying it, like you said, you're just having fun. And that's fabulous.
Definitely.
So if there was someone who was kind of listening or watching and thinking, I'm in this space where I feel like I want to try, but the fear is just holding me back, because falling over, like when you describe falling in it, like you've hurt your shoulder, and it does really knock your confidence.
Absolutely. It really, really does. I mean, I'd say, go into the shop, have a chat, and because that really helped me, just to have a chat with someone else who, was very kind of similar in age, and like, and knowing actually it's fine, it doesn't matter, like nobody really expects you to be able to get up and just do it. And also it's like, what about skates? But the fact you can hire the skates at the location was again a really good I can't think of the word. It was a good motivator for me, because I didn't have to spend anything, though I did afterwards. And the safety gear, God, yes, do get the safety gear, because I know, had I not been wearing kind of my hand splints, then I probably would have hurt my wrist a lot more when I did fall. So that, although again that adds on a little bit more time when you're actually getting ready and you just feel like
Yeah,
just
20
ridiculous.
minutes later, I'm still strapping all this gear on, and I've put this on the wrong
Exactly.
way. This is
But
upside down.
actually, yeah, but it's really important. And again, the older you get, the more kind of hesitant we are to kind of try things. But honestly, just go and give it a go and be brave, because even if you only stay for 10 minutes, it's fine. But actually, you're probably gonna have a great time, and you'll meet some really lovely people. And yeah, it's just a really great environment. But don't go spending too much money. And that was the other thing I really liked when I came to the shop, and you were like, you don't need to be buying all of this stuff yet, like wait. And I was like, oh great. So again, I've found a space that you're not pressuring me, to buy anything. Actually, you're saying just wait and build up your skill set, and then look at, investing a lot of money potentially if you want to in skates. And
whatever you want to. I think that's it's really easy to read or listen to lots of internet spaces and forums and kind of go, oh, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to need these wheels and this, and I have to buy this and change this. And then and then it's really confusing when you think, but I thought if I'm buying roller skates and it all comes with everything and the wheels and the stoppers, why do I need more wheels if there's already wheels?
Exactly.
And there are definitely some places or some spaces who are very keen to talk you into, well, these are the best wheels. And I think we're trying to say, these are the best wheels for the author of that post.
Not for you necessarily.
Not necessarily the best for everybody, otherwise there would only be one wheel in existence. So and there are not. So no, thank you, Michelle, for sharing your story. I think that's just, I love that you're giving yourself permission to take it as slowly as you need to, and be kind of unflapped, or mildly flapped by the kind of the other people who might have made faster progress because their lifestyle and their set of circumstances is different. And having that appreciation and that self-awareness to go, it's okay, I'm just enjoying this for what I'm doing right now, I think is a really, really special thing. And thank you for sharing that, because I think that will really resonate with a lot of people.
No, you're welcome. And that is partly down to you and the staff at the store, and on the Friday night sessions, for people, from you kind of saying and not putting any pressure on and go, no, you're fine, just take your time. And I would definitely say that, nobody would expect you to get on skates and know what you're doing straight away. You are going to be like Bambi, and that's absolutely fine. It is a bit scary, but do it anyway, because it's great fun. And once you actually get going and you can go around the corner, that sense of accomplishment is like, oh, I can do that. And so it was great, to be able to actually do some things, and then remembering, oh, I think my feet used to do this, and then finding out there was a name for it, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, just I'm building confidence, not just in skating, but then in the rest of my life, going, oh yeah, I'm learning a new skill, and that's okay. So
that's amazing. Oh, Michelle, what a fabulous story. I mean, I could sit and listen to you just kind of oozing positivity. And even though, like, you're not wearing your roller skates right now, are you?
No.
Okay. Like, even though you're not wearing them right now, I can feel the joy just kind of flowing when you're talking about it and reminiscing from your childhood and just thinking about how it makes you feel now. It just puts you in that zone. And I just thank you so much for sharing that story.
You're very welcome.
We're sadly out of time.
That's fine. Don't worry.
But have a fabulous rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for joining me. So I will take care and chat to you soon.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to today's skate story. I hope you find it as inspiring and uplifting as I did. Can't wait for the next one.